For many people, buying a home will be the most significant purchase they ever make. However, many first-time homebuyers are clueless about the costs that actually go into buying a home. Most people are familiar with the down payment part of buying a home, but there are several additional costs that many people overlook. Just because you have the money to put a down payment on a home doesn't mean you can necessarily afford to buy a home. Let's go ahead and dive into the 8 unexpected costs that many first-time homebuyers overlook to make you a more informed buyer. Number 1, inspection costs. Let's say you found your dream home. Everything looks great. But then, as you're wandering into the bathroom, you notice a small water leak dripping down from the ceiling. You then start to wonder what other potential hidden issues might be hiding in this house. Well, that's where a home inspection comes into play. The main purpose of a home inspection is to have an expert come into the house that you're interested in and evaluate the overall condition of the home. If you plan to take out a loan from a bank, a home inspection is almost always required in order to protect the bank from over-financing a home that might potentially have hidden issues. You can usually skip the home inspection process if you pay with cash, but I'm not sure you would want to skip the home inspection process unless you're familiar with inspecting homes yourself. A friend of mine actually just sold his house to one of his coworkers, and luckily his coworker decided to do an inspection. My friend that was selling the house thought that was a little weird because both of them are very familiar with the house since they've spent a lot of time in that house together. But luckily for the coworker, they did, because they actually discovered some foundational issues with the home. It didn't stop the sale, but it definitely helped the coworker make a better offer and not run into any surprises down the road. The average cost of a home inspection usually runs anywhere from $300 to $500. It just depends on the market you're buying in and the inspection companies that are around in that market. Okay, number 2, loan appraisal costs. If you're using a loan to purchase your next home, you're going to have to order a loan appraisal after you finish the negotiations with the seller. And this is just to make sure you don't overpay for a home. The appraisal will typically be ordered by your lender, but you as the buyer will be required to pay that fee, that appraisal fee. Banks don't want you to overpay for a loan because it puts them more at risk if you default and they have to take the home back to recoup their losses. Okay, number 3, homeowner's insurance. Before your lender lets you take out a loan on the house that you want to buy, you'll have to provide proof of homeowner's insurance. Homeowner's insurance will cover any unexpected damages. Let's say a tree falls onto your house and damages your roof. Your homeowner's insurance will typically cover that. Or let's say you have a friend over and you guys are drinking and your friend slips and falls in your kitchen and injures themselves. They could actually sue you and your homeowner insurance would typically cover that. So the purpose of homeowner's insurance is to protect you and your lender from any liability from accidents or damages to your house. The average cost of homeowner's insurance is anywhere from $1,300 to $1,700. It just depends on the market that you are buying a home in and the price of your home as well. Okay, number 4, closing costs. So this one is typically overlooked by many first-time homebuyers. Closing costs are the fee that you'll have to pay to finalize the closing of your new home. So closing costs are going to include your application fee, any lender fees, any homeowners association fees, any title fees, and anything else that is needed to finalize the deal. Now, closing costs can typically be shared with the seller if your real estate agent is able to negotiate that into the deal. And you can usually expect to pay anywhere from 2 to 5% of the final purchase price of the home you're buying in closing costs. Okay, number 5, moving costs. One thing is for sure, moving is not cheap. If you have a lot of stuff or you're moving far away, you're going to have to either hire movers or rent a truck yourself. Is your new home larger than your current home? If so, you'll likely have additional rooms that you're going to have to furnish. Will you have appliances at the new home? In some cases, the seller is going to take the appliances with them that are at the home you're buying, and if that's the case, you're going to have to replace them. Generally speaking, you can expect to pay anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 in moving costs. Again, it just depends on where you're moving to and how much you're gonna have to spend to basically finalize the move. Okay, and number 6, home maintenance. So unlike when you rent, when you buy a home, you're gonna be completely responsible for any maintenance that goes on in the house. So for example, if your AC goes out or your water heater goes out, you will have to pay for that. Depending on the age of your new home, those repairs can start to add up pretty quickly. There's something called the 1% rule when it comes to home maintenance. Basically just setting a guideline for new homeowners to kind of prepare for or mentally prepare for, where you should save roughly 1% of whatever your home price is at for any maintenance cost that might occur. The 1% rule is not perfect for everyone. It really just depends on the age and the overall condition of your home. But generally speaking, if you are able to save 1% of the home you decide to purchase, like the price of the home, that should give you a nice nest egg to prepare for any potential home maintenance costs that might occur. Let's move over to number 7, property taxes. As the owner of your new home, you will also be responsible for paying property taxes. Yes, I know, everybody's favorite subject, taxes. Property taxes, of course, vary state by state, and property taxes will always be around unless your local government decides to abolish property taxes, which is probably highly unlikely. So depending on the state and even the county you're buying a home in, property taxes are going to vary. So your best bet is just to do some research on Google to figure out what property taxes you're going to have to pay. Oftentimes, property taxes are just added into your monthly mortgage payment, so check with your lender. They'll be your best resource to figure all that out. On average, you can probably expect to pay 1% of your home's assessed value in property taxes every year. Okay, and the last thing we're going to talk about is mortgage insurance, or PMI. If you take out a loan and you put down less than 20% of a down payment on your new home, you're typically going to have to pay what's called PMI. PMI is just basically insurance that protects the lender in case of an event of you defaulting on your mortgage or just not paying anymore. So if you decide to take out a loan and you put a lower down payment on, like let's say you put a 3 or 5% down payment, you're going to be seen as a higher risk to the lender, and they will typically require you to take out PMI in addition to your loan. The cost of PMI does vary, but you can typically expect to pay anywhere from $30 to $70 per month for every $100,000 you finance. Depending on the type of loan that you use, the PMI insurance will typically fall off after you officially own 20% of the home. And that can be done either by continuing to pay off your loan or your home value goes up in value. Either way, once you own 20% of the home and have 20% of the equity, then that PMI can fall off. Well, that is it for today. I hope this video gives you some additional information around the hidden cost of buying a home. Buying a home is a great way to build additional wealth. However, you definitely want to make sure you're aware of all of the costs that go into buying a home and even owning a home. Do me a quick favor and like this video. It takes just 1 second of your time and it helps out my channel tremendously by pushing this video into the YouTube universe and giving my channel additional exposure. I really appreciate you and thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.